Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is August 9th, 2024, and Barcelona are reportedly considering a shock move for Sergio Reguilon. Also, Joan Laporta is not giving up on the pursuit of Nico Williams. And finally, Barcelona are set to make an €8 million bonus, if you want to call it that. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and this is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where not only do I get to discuss Barcelona news with you, but I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments out loud and answering any questions that you might have. Having said all of that, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. If you are looking to buy any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, you can head to Goal Kits, Fanatics, Kickback. We have plenty of options. All of those links are in the description. Anyways, let's begin with the news. And as I always begin the podcasts, I'm starting with a section with lots of little bits of news that I've compiled all together. So let's start the first section with lots of bits of news. The first one is that Barcelona have officially announced the signing of Dani Olmo, who Barcelona signed from RB Leipzig for €55 million fixed plus €7 million in variables. And the player has signed a contract until 2030, so a 6-year contract. Now, as I reported in yesterday's video, Dani Olmo was actually supposed to be presented today. Barcelona decided to postpone the presentation. So instead, we only saw the player, arrive at the office of Barcelona, sign the contract, do the little photo shoot. But the player will be officially presented on Monday, which is what I told you yesterday. Now, this has been confirmed by the club that Dani Olmo will be presented on Monday at the Joan Laporta Trophy match, which is where Barcelona will be facing off against the Ligue 1 club Monaco. Now, Dani Olmo will be available for that match, technically speaking. Will he play? I don't know. I have doubts because Dani Olmo just arrived. He's going to have maybe 1-2 training sessions from here until Monday. So I doubt he'll start, but who knows? Maybe Hansi Flick will give him a few minutes at the end of the match just so he can get a feel of it and just so the fans who are there and who are there to watch his introduction can, enjoy some minutes of the player on the pitch. Now, it has been revealed what kind of number Dani Olmo will be wearing, and this was totally done by mistake. The club was not set to announce the number yet, but some photographers were able to catch members of Dani Olmo's family inside the offices of Barcelona wearing the Dani Olmo jersey with the number 20 on it, which is something I was supposed to tell you in yesterday's video. I completely spaced out about it, but there was rumors that Dani Olmo would pick the number 20 jersey. It looks like that will be the case because, again, his members of his family were seen wearing the Olmo jersey with the number 20 on it and walking inside the Barcelona offices, and they were caught by photographers standing outside the complex, the Barcelona complex. Now, that number is, of course, what used to be Sergio Roberto's number, the Barcelona captain, who will not continue at Barcelona. His contract did expire on June 30th. Xabi wanted the club to renew it, but once Xabi left, Hansi Flick did not consider him a priority. And as such, Barcelona told Sergi, look, if you wait until the summer transfer market, maybe we'll sign you, maybe we won't, depending on how much space we have left on our wage bill. Of course, Sergio Roberto has now decided to move on because he cannot wait until the final days. Otherwise, he can risk ending up without a club. Now, we do know that Barcelona are planning a farewell for Sergio Roberto. So I'm very, very happy to hear that because Sergio Roberto, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's a good player or not, at the end of the day, he's a club man. He came up through the academy. He spent his whole career at Barcelona. He was a Barcelona captain. This is not just someone who came and go. This is not, Aubameyang who came for 6 months and left. This is someone who's been here his whole life at Barcelona. He's been a Barcelona captain. He's given us some great moments. So I'm really, really glad that Barcelona have decided to give him a little farewell. But what I don't like is that they let leak that Olmo will be wearing the number 20. I think Barcelona should have had a better rap on it because, yes, Sergio Reguilon is not a Barcelona player. Yes, he doesn't have a contract anymore, but technically speaking, that's still his number. It's still the number that he used. I think it would have been nice for Barcelona first to, release a statement thanking Sergio Roberto, announcing that they're not going to continue with him, and then, kind of do that transition of going the number 20 from Sergi to Dani Olmo. But maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. You guys let me know your opinions. Now, more news, and this one is a good one because Barcelona have officially confirmed the contract extension of Dani Rodriguez. This is something I told you about last podcast on Wednesday. I said, I reported that Barcelona had completed the contract renewal of Dani Rodriguez. He was going to be signing a contract extension. Technically speaking, it's more of a contract renewal because Dani Rodriguez's contract expired this June 30th. Barcelona had been working on renewing it, but it seemed that the player was going to leave because he had a lot of interest from Real Sociedad and Athletic Club de Bilbao, two Basque clubs. He's a Basque player. So it looks like he was headed to Basque country, but then he had a change of mind and started negotiating again with Barcelona through his agent, Pini Zahavi, who's the same agent of Robert Lewandowski. And well, on Wednesday, I told you that Barcelona had reached an agreement to renew Dani Rodriguez. And well, today the club have made that official, announcing that Dani Rodriguez has signed until 2027. So beating Athletic Club de Bilbao and Real Sociedad, who were trying to take the 18-year-old attacker away from us. Now, Barcelona are not ruling out Dani Rodriguez participating with the first team, whether it be through trainings, whether it be having some minutes with the first team, maybe a combination of both, because Hansi Flick has been keeping an eye on Dani Rodriguez, on his progress, on his growth, because after all, he is a left winger. And well, what do we need is exactly that. And the last bit of news of this segment, which I thought was going to be shorter, but I guess it ended up being a little bit longer than I expected. But the last bit of news is that Spain have officially won Olympic gold in football. What a summer for Spain. An absolute second golden generation, because they had their first golden generation with Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, etc. But another golden generation is on the rise in Spain because they just won the Euros. And now today they sealed Olympic gold after beating France 5-3. Well, technically 3-5 since France is the host country. But Spain beating the host country 3-5 in what was a very exciting match where France started winning, then 1-0, then Spain was up 3-1, and then Spain completely give up the lead. It ends up being 3-3. They go to extra time, and then Spain scores two more goals, ending at 3-5 and taking Olympic gold. And of course, the star of this team, the MVP of the whole tournament, in my opinion, Fermín López, who once again scored. He scored 2 goals in today's final. That makes it 6 goals in 6 matches in the Olympics. And therefore, Fermín López joins his teammates Pau Cubarsí and Eric Garcia in winning Olympic gold after he had just won the Euros with the Spanish first team a few weeks before that. And I have to say, I am very, very excited for Fermín López to come back. What a year has been for him, coming from loan in second division, coming back to Barcelona, winning a place on the first team after Barcelona were trying to sell him because it didn't look like, he was going to find a place on the first team, winning the Euros, winning Olympic gold. I think Fermín López is becoming one hell of a player. And to think that so many people were saying, Fermín López is not that good, he just runs a lot. My goodness. Look at this guy, just completely killing it. And I can't wait for him to be under the direction of Hansi Flick. Very, very excited for that. Anyways, let's do the chat section, and then we will talk about the reports that Barcelona are considering a shock move for Sergio Reguilon. Yes, you heard that correctly. Josiah says, hi, Mo. How do you view the coming season? How confident are you with this Barcelona team watching from Monrovia, Liberia? How do I see this season? The first season is going to be, as I've said many, many times before, don't expect anything. This is a brand new coach. This is a brand new project, new philosophy, new tactics, new techniques, new everything. Not to mention a lot of new players, even though we haven't really signed that many players. We've only signed Pau, Victor, and Nico Williams. So a lot of players coming from the academy that Hansi Flick has called up on, like Marc Casado, Marc Bernal. We'll see if Alex Paye most likely will continue. Maybe Gerard Martin, we'll see him more often. There's going to be a lot of new players, a lot of new faces. So don't expect much because it's going to take a while until all these players get to know each other, get to know the coach, and learn how to play under Hansi Flick's philosophy. But having said that, I am very excited. I think I saw some pretty good signs during the preseason. But again, don't expect anything first season. And plus, even though we did see good signs of improvement during the preseason, after all, that's just the preseason. They're only friendly matches. They don't mean anything. So we'll just have to wait and see. But keep your expectations low, but your hopes up, hopefully. And we'll see what happens. And Adam says, hi, Mo from Slovakia. Wow, I think you are the first person to comment from Slovakia. That's pretty awesome. But Adam says, do you think that Olmo will play on the wing or under striker? My guess is that Flick will probably have him playing on the wing because, well, we don't have anyone there. The idea was to sign Nico. Doesn't look like Nico's coming. So probably Olmo will play on the left wing. Now, if Barcelona somehow pull a miracle and sign Nico, then maybe we can see Dani Olmo play behind the striker, like a second striker, which it wouldn't make sense because we have so many people in there. But hey, Barcelona love to spend their money. All right, let's see. Jovan says Nico left out of Athletic Club squad. Yes, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Sampana says, finally caught the podcast since forever. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, my friend. I'm glad you were able to catch the podcast. And welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while, but thank you, my friend, for your comment. And Not the Gamer says, hey, Mo, it's been a while. Sorry I haven't been in the chat section. I've been on vacation. Thoughts on Julian Araujo links to Bournemouth. Well, I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Hopefully you went somewhere fun. If you would like to share where you went on vacation, that'd be awesome. Let us know in the chat section. As far as Julian Araujo link going to, it's not really a link to Bournemouth. He is going to Bournemouth. The talks are in the advanced stage. The agreement is mostly done. They're just finalizing the last little details, which is a sell-on clause. Barcelona want to include a sell-on clause, meaning that if Bournemouth sell Julian Araujo in the future, Barcelona would get a percentage. So it's looking very, very, very highly likely that Araujo will end up there. What are my thoughts? I don't really care. He didn't impress me whatsoever. He didn't impress Flick. He was an average player. Maybe he'll be great in Bournemouth. I don't know. But for Barca, not really a player that I was like, wow, Julian Araujo, he's amazing. So if we can make 10 million off him, why not? That position's stacked anyway. All right, one more. But Eric Kelvin says, given the form of Fermin in the Olympics, I just hope that the signing of Olmo would not hinder his progress in the team because we many players in that position. That's my hope too, my friend. That's why I said I was against the signing of Olmo, not because I think Olmo's a bad player, not at all, but because we did not need to spend 55 million plus 7. So that's, if those variables end up all being met, we're looking at a 62 million euro operation for a position that's pretty stacked. But we'll see. Maybe Flick ends up using Olmo on the left wing and Fermin continues to get the minutes that he's showing he deserves. Anyways, let's go back to the next bit of news because reports out in England are saying that Barcelona are interested in signing Sergio Reguilon. Now, Tottenham Hotspur signed Sergio Reguilon, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, from Real Madrid. Since his arrival in the Premier League, he hasn't really been able to shine. He spent some time on loan with Atletico de Madrid, and he's kind of been on a downward trajectory. And now it's reported that Tottenham, are looking to get rid of Sergio Reguilon. And as such, the reports out in the Premier League are saying that Barcelona have reached out to Tottenham Hotspur in order to see if they will be interested in selling us Sergio Reguilon. Those are the reports coming out of the English media. I'm just going to come out and say it. To me, it's pure bullshit. Let's be honest. First of all, why would we need Sergio Reguilon? We have the left back position fully stacked. We have Alejandro Balde, who's most likely will be our starter. We have Alex Valle competing with Gerard Martin to be Alejandro Balde's substitute. Not to mention, if Mika Faye ends up staying, he could also play in that position. And if Barcelona do end up bringing Cancelo can also play in that position. There's absolutely no need for Sergio Reguilon. That's one. Number two, again, why the hell would we be interested in Reguilon? The guy hasn't done anything for 2, 3, 4 seasons that you haven't even heard his name. I call absolute bullshit. This is probably just, a marketing strategy to put pressure on other clubs to try to sign a player that Tottenham Hotspur don't want anything from. So that's the report coming out of English media. I'll call bullshit on it. You let me know what your thoughts are. And let's get back to the chat section. And then we will talk about a topic that I've become sick and tired of talking about, which is Nico Williams. All right, let's see what else. Jason says, Mo, do you think Olmo was signed due to not being able to sign Florian Wirtz next season? No, I don't think so. I think this was just a Deco bet. Deco really thinks that, Dani Olmo is a great player that's going to elevate the level of the squad, and he was, hell-bent on signing him, and he signed him. I don't think it has anything to do with Wirtz. Curtis says, some say we have too many midfielders, but I'm happy because I know we have depth when injury comes. You have to balance depth between just having players for the sake of having, right? Kind of like Chelsea. They have 50 strikers. What do you need 50 strikers for? It's good to have depth. It's good to have 2 players per position, but when you have 10, 12 midfielders for 3 positions, now you're just wasting money because these players are not playing for free. These players are earning very high salaries. Plus, there's players who need minutes or not going to get minutes. The younger ones who need to develop because you have so many. So, yes, we need depth, but too much of everything is bad. The same way as too little of something is also bad. All right, let's see. Issa says, hi, Mo, watching from Africa, Sierra Leone, to be precise. I like your program. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your comment. Not the Gamer says, bro, Mo, these TikTok Barca fans are so fake and dumb. Someone said sack Flick for not smiling as it makes the team bad. Yeah, look, you cannot control stupid. It is what it is. It's better to just ignore kind of comments of that type. And Idabi is, I hope said that correctly, says, I think this Reguilon deal is probably a transfer strategy since the news is coming from English sources too. I agree 100%. That's exactly what I think. There's no way Barcelona considering Reguilon. Why would we do that? We have a million fullbacks on a team that are a million times better than Reguilon. And Gio says, our midfield is stacked. 3 for every position except for 6. 10, Olmo, Gundo, and Fermin. 8, Pedri, De Jong, Casado. 6, Gabi, and Bernal, maybe Merino. I don't think Merino's coming. Barcelona, Flick has made it very clear to the club that he doesn't really need Merino. And he has that position covered, so I don't think that's happening. But I do agree with your point that our midfield is pretty stacked, and that's why I thought that spending 60 million on Dani Olmo was just pretty irresponsible given the club's finances. If the club was financially healthy and they want to go spend 60 million on a player that we don't need, fuck it, go for it. But when the club is struggling to even register players they already have, when the club is counting pennies, trying to figure out how to help to survive and just pulling these last-minute deals just to be able to survive, that's very irresponsible. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you have a car that gets you places and you have money and then you want to go buy a sports car as a second car, sure, go for it, spend it, whatever. Get that sports car, have fun on the weekends. You have money, you can afford it. But if you're struggling to pay your bills and then you go buy the sports car, that's pretty irresponsible of you. But anyways, so the problem is not the sports car, which in this case would be Dani Olmo. The sports car is the sports car. It's a great car to drive. It's fun to drive. It looks good. The problem is not the sports car. The problem is the person that's paying for it. If the person cannot afford it, that's a big problem. So, again, my thing is not against Olmo. A lot of people think I have something against Olmo. It's not Olmo. Olmo's a good player. I'm sure he'll do great with Barcelona. But my problem is with the club because they're spending money on a player that we don't need when the club is broke. That's a big problem. Anyways, let's get back to the news and then we will do more comments. But let's talk about Nico Williams because today all over the news, social media outlets, on the corners of the streets, everywhere you go, the main talk of the day was that Athletic Club de Bilbao left out Nico Williams from their squad for their last friendly match of the preseason. Athletic Club de Bilbao are set to play against Stuttgart. That's their last friendly match of the preseason before La Liga season kicks off. And, well, when they released the squad list, Nico Williams was not on the squad list. And, of course, the media being bored, the media having the need to sell papers and get clicks, they all started speculating that, Barcelona are about to sign Nico Williams. Nico Williams is actually in Barcelona doing his medical exam. Nico Williams was just spotted playing the gun per match. And calm down, guys. Could there something be here? Sure. But it could also be explained pretty simple. Nico Williams just came back on Tuesday from vacation. Today is Friday. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 4 training sessions since he left, or since the season ended back in May. So we're talking about over 2 months. This has had 4 training sessions with his team, 4 months. In 2 months. That could easily be explained that way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Athletic Club de Bilbao have left him out because Barcelona are negotiating or something. But the logical answer would be that he's not going to play because he just arrived back from vacation. The same way as Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé was one of the last people to get reincorporated into the team because he made it all the way to the semifinals of the Euros. Therefore, he did not play against Manchester City. Nobody was like, oh my God, Koundé's leaving Barcelona. That's why Barcelona left him out. No, everybody was like, he got left out of the squad because he just came back. That would be a more logical conclusion than to freak out and be like, oh my God. Well, it is what it is. Now, the other bit of news against Nico Williams is that reportedly Joan Laporta is not giving up. He thinks that Barcelona still have a chance at signing Nico Williams because even though Nico Williams cut his vacation short, went back to training and posted that video talking about how he's looking forward to the season with Athletic Club de Bilbao. Even though he did all that, he never really picked up the phone and said, hey, Barcelona, I'm not coming. And since Joan Laporta hasn't gotten this verbal no, he thinks that there's still a chance to sign Nico Williams. And since yesterday, Barcelona officially announced the Barca Vision deal, which I talked about in yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. And with that, Barcelona will be returning to the 1-1 rule. Laporta believes that by this weekend, Barcelona would be able to pay the release clause of Nico Williams. Because even though we signed a deal with Aramark for the Barca Vision, even though we got the 40 million for Barca Vision, we're still not back to the 1-1 until La Liga approves the deal. Barcelona have already filled out the paperwork. They presented the paperwork to La Liga. Once that gets approved, Barcelona gets back to the 1-1. Once Barcelona gets back to the 1-1, they can afford to pay the 58 million euro release clause of Nico Williams, which Laporta thinks that can be done by this weekend. Now, whether you can pay it or not, it's irrelevant. If the player doesn't want to come, then there's nothing you can do, even if you can pay 10 release clauses, right? So, but anyways, that's the news. I brought it to you. What's my opinion? I don't see it happening. I think if Nico Williams really wanted to wait for us to fix our 1-1, he would have waited. Because remember, he was not supposed to go back training until Monday, August 12th. So technically right now, he could have still been on vacation or been at home playing PlayStation, just waiting for Laporta to call him and say, look, we signed the Barca Vision. We're coming for you. But he didn't. He cut his vacation short when he didn't have to. He went back to training early when he didn't have to. And then he posted that video, which he also didn't have to, because if he wanted to go to training, he didn't have to do that video. He could have just went into training just like any other player, goes in, goes out, done. Versus, oh, I'm Nico Williams. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm back. Let's go Athletic Club de Bilbao. I don't see it happening, but maybe I'm wrong. At the end of the day, nothing is impossible in football. We all thought Messi was going to stay, and then the last day we found out he wasn't. So let me know what you guys think. All right, let's do more comments, and then we will talk about the 8 million euro windfall that Barcelona are set to receive. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off? Ryan Grant says, hi, Mo. So I hear Barca have put Frankie on the market, but would Barca have to pay the whole salary? And we'll talk about Frankie in the next video. As far as the salary, they would have to pay whatever money they owe him. So his salary deferrals, because when the pandemic hit, all clubs were affected financially because their revenues were cut immediately because all stadiums closed. And as such, Barcelona agreed to salary deferrals saying, hey, I pay you half your salary now for this year, and I'll pay you the next half, I don't know, in 2 years or something like that. So Barcelona do owe Frankie some salary deferrals, some money that didn't pay him in previous years. If he leaves, yes, they would have to pay him that. Unless he decides, hey, guys, you don't have to pay me. I'm nice. God bless you. Which, players like Piqué, like Jordi Alba, like Sergio Busquets, they agreed to those kind of deals. But they did it out of their own kindness because they love the club. They came up through the academy. They've been at the club their whole lives. So that's why they did it, kind of a gesture for Barcelona. Frankie de Jong, I don't know if he would do that. He's not really a Barca man. We signed him 3-4 years ago. or however long ago. He's not really, someone who came up through our academy and grew up loving our club and breathing and living, the colors, which is why I always prefer Barcelona, depend on our academy players rather than signings, because those players truly do love the club. This is not just a job for them. This is not just a club. Oh, yeah, it would be nice to play for because it's a big club. No, these guys really, really love the club, and they're the ones who would do things like that because the club literally is their home if they came up to the academy. Remember, these players sleep at La Masia. They go to school in La Masia. They eat at La Masia. They train football in La Masia. It really becomes their home. All right, Hart says, love knowing the fact that there are fans all over the world watching Mo and just listening to our club's news. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate your very nice comment, and thank you for your comment as well. Jordy says, first time in the live. Hello from the Netherlands. All right, let's go. I think you're the first one to comment from the Netherlands. So thank you, and welcome to the live. I hope you can watch us more often. Let's see. Tishan says, I really don't want Nico anymore. Too much hype leads to bluff and drop in form, and I'm beginning to dislike him for tossing the world best team around like beggars. I don't have anything against Nico Williams. If he wants to stay at Athletic Club de Bilbao because, that is his boyhood club. That is where his brother plays. That is where his parents work. It's his hometown. You really can't blame him for that. It's like the same way, let's say, I don't know, some Manchester City comes and tries to sign Fermin Lopez, and then it looks like Fermin Lopez is going to Man City, and then he says, no, I want to stay in Barcelona because it's my club. You wouldn't blame him for that. Why would we blame Nico for wanting to stay in his boyhood club? Obviously, it's a mistake because it's a downgrade. Choosing between Barca and Man City, that's almost the same. But choosing between Athletic Club and Barcelona, with all due respect to Athletic Club de Bilbao, like, come on. But that's his mistake to make, and we can't really judge him for it. It is what it is. All right, one more comment, and then we'll do the last bit of news. But Idabi says, Mo, what do you think of our defenders, those staying and leaving, since Eric Garcia confirmed he is staying this season? I don't think Eric will stay, to be honest. I know that's what he said, that he wants to come back, prove himself, and earn a spot. But Eric Garcia just played in the Olympics. That means he's not going to come back for at least another week or two. And by then, the preseason's over. And by then, Flick would have already had his starting defenders and his subs. And it's not going to be time for Eric to try to prove himself. So it's going to be either stay and be on the bench for the rest of the season, or go back to Girona where they appreciate me and be a starter in every match for the rest of the season. And I think he's going to choose, obviously, the latter. Go to Girona and get minutes, because I don't see him getting minutes at Barcelona, especially since the preseason's over. It's not like, oh, I have a chance. Let me go to the U.S. tour. Let me show Flick. Flick is going to give me minutes because he's going to be impressed. That door is closed, right? The preseason tour is over. The John Gamper match is on Monday. Eddie Garcia is not going to be back by then. So, anyways, let's do the last bit of news, and then we will do more comments, I promise. But let's talk about Jean-Claude Todibo. Speaking of defenders, because Barcelona finally will make those 8 million euros. Now, as you know, Barcelona, when they transferred Todibo to Nice, they reserved a sell-on clause, which is 20% of any future sales. There was a lot of talks about Nice offloading Todibo last summer. There was talks about Nice offloading Todibo this past winter, again this summer, and we just kept, like, come on already, we need that money, sell them already. And while, lo and behold, Nice have reached an agreement with West Ham for the transfer of the French defender, who will be joining the Premier League. However, I guess the saga's never ending. It will be on loan, but with an obligation to buy. How much is the obligation to buy? 40 million euros. And since Barcelona own 20% of the rights of the player, they will get 8 million euros. But of course, they won't receive those 8 million euros until the sale is final, which won't be until the end of this upcoming season. So Todibo will spend next season, 2024-2025, on loan. At the end of that season, the obligation to buy will be activated. West Ham will pay Nice 40 million euros, and out of those 40 million euros, Barcelona will say, give me, please. And they'll get 8 million. All right, that is all the news. Let's do several more comments since we have some time left. And then we will end the live stream. And then after that, I will be uploading a video because, as always, tons of news coming out of Barcelona. I love it. I'm sure you do too. and let's see what you guys are saying. Timothy says, hi, Mo. This is Tim from Malawi. I'm new to the channel, and I'm loving this channel. More informative and keeping things real. Thank you, my friend. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to the live. I hope you can join us more often. And shout out to everyone in Malawi. All right, let's see. Not the gamer says, why do people still say we need a right back? Yeah, I don't understand that either. I've seen that a lot. People are like, oh, we need a right back, a center midfielder, and a left winger. We don't need a right back. We have Koundé. We have Hector Fort. And Barcelona are talking about bringing Cancelo. And also Alex Baye can play in that position, as you guys have clearly seen. So we definitely don't need a right back. Center midfield, we don't either. We have Frankie. They can play there. We have Gavi. They can play there. Gundogan. They can play there. Marc Casador can play there. Marc Bernal, they can play there. We do need a left winger. So that is true. And I agree with you. I don't know why people keep saying that either. And the Angry Sparky, once again, with his generous donation, says, hey, bro, just chilling on my patio with the Flensburger Dunkel, German beer. Okay, that actually sounds delicious because I like German beer. In 106 degrees South Texas heat and waiting with bated breath for our usual transfer window soap opera to be over. Definitely grab a few more beers because the beer you currently have in your hand is definitely not going to last you until the soap opera is over. Because if there's something we've learned is that the Barcelona soap opera does not end until midnight on the last day of the summer transfer market. So get yourself a few more beers. Don't hold your breath. Enjoy your patio. Enjoy your weekend because it's finally the weekend. Here we have a tropical storm. It's been raining for the past 5 days. It's been awful, but tomorrow, 80 degrees, so I'm all for it. But enjoy your weekend, my friend, and thank you for your donation. And let's get back to the comments. Oh, my man Klaus says the Nico Williams thing has gotten boring. My man Klaus, who's always watching the live streams. I haven't seen you comment in the last couple, 2, 3, but it's okay. I forgive you because you've been a huge supporter of the channel. But Klaus says the Nico Williams thing's gotten boring. Me too, honestly. I get bored talking about him, but I have to talk about him. It's my duty to bring you the news, even though it's boring me to talk about it consistently. Anyways, George says Nico will do better at Barca, and this is just the time for him as well. Tomorrow, meaning the next season, will be bad for him, not the club. I think the Barcelona ship just comes once, or the train, if you want to say it, ship, train, I guess depends where you live. And if you're in the UK, you probably want a ship because you're on an island. If you're in Japan, you want to train because they actually run on time. And if you're in the US, probably a car because our public transportation sucks. But look, the Barcelona train just comes once. And if you don't hop on it, it probably won't come back again. Just saying. Mohammed says, hi, Mo, watching you from Morocco. Aywa, ahla sahla. He says, I'm so happy to be on your live podcast. This is my first time. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for joining the live podcast. I hope you join us more often. And thank you for your comment. And Carla says, I don't think De Jong and Gundo will be as important this season since Flick wants more pressure. I don't think those two players have that, or am I wrong? I think Frankie can very much pressure a lot. Gundo, not so much because of his age, but doesn't mean he can't be important. I think Gundo was probably our best midfielder last season. His vision, his passing, the way he can get rid of pressure, I think it's unmatched. He's an incredible midfielder. I don't know if he'll be able to pressure the full 90 minutes just because of his age, not because of his skills or talent, because he's an incredibly skilled midfielder, but it doesn't mean he can't be useful, right? Maybe he can play 60 minutes and then bring someone else. And maybe other matches, he can play 30 minutes, the final 30 minutes, and have someone else start in his place, right? Doesn't mean that we can't use him. He's still an incredibly talented midfielder, but I don't know if he can pressure the full 90 minutes. As far as Frankie, I think he's very much capable of it. Noe Sanchez says, we spent stupid money on Roque, and now we aren't even willing to give him a chance to try to sell him for more or at least get back what we paid. I mean, it's tough, right? It's tough when you have a player that you think is not good enough. It's tough to give him minutes because, you know, when you're a team as big as Barcelona, you need your entire 11 players to be at their best and to be, you know, playing at a high level. And yeah, you might be thinking, okay, I got this guy who's not good enough, but I have to give him minutes so his price increases and I can sell him. And that's tough because now you're sacrificing a position. Now you're sacrificing a player that's on top of his game for someone who's not, just so you can market him and sell him. that doesn't work at as a team Barcelona. That works for clubs who are selling clubs, who are in the business of selling players, because, you know, they don't care as much about trophies. They care more about just building players and selling them. So that for them, that can work. You know, let me put this player in, even though he sucks, even though he's going to affect the performance of the team, but I don't care because my goal is to increase his value and sell him. That works for clubs like that, not for Barcelona. Let's see. What up says, hi Mo, do you think Barca is going for Kingsley Coman just because they know that Nico's staying at Athletic Club even after multiple reports that Nico to Barca is still on? That's exactly why Kingsley Coman is the option B to Nico Williams. So for now, Barcelona are just in talks with him. Laporta is still adamant that he can bring Nico, so he's still going to try until Nico tells him no. He's still going to try. If Nico calls him and says, yo, I'm not coming, Barcelona will go for Kingsley Coman, or at least that's what they're trying to see, because Coman's agent has said that a loan is possible. So Barcelona are open for that. All right, Ice Scoop says, hello, Mo. Thanks for all your videos. I watch every single one of them. Only please reduce some of your language when you get upset or too happy because my little kids. All right, I'll keep that in mind, my friend. But, man, with Barca, it's just a little bit hard. But I'll try. King Ramsey says, finally made it to the first live stream of the month. For Satwa, Mo, love from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. I hope the board don't go for Coman. I prefer Dani Rodriguez. I prefer Dani Rodriguez too, to be honest. But if Coman comes on a loan, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't pay for him just because of his injuries and his age. I mean, he is 28, but, you know, he's not going to come for 2 years. He's going to want a 4 or 5 year contract. That means we're stuck with a player until he's 33. I wouldn't mind him coming on loan 1 season. He can be the starter because he has the experience. He's played at the highest levels. And then you're going to have Dani Rodriguez there alternating with him, right? Getting minutes, getting experience. That way, when Coman's loan is over, Dani Rodriguez has had a full season in first division. Now he can, you know, take more responsibility and be able to play better on that in that position. I don't know. That's my opinion. Let me know, what do you guys think? All right. El Cedre says, hi, Mo, coming from Barbados. All right. Caribbean in the house says, I think we are lacking a quality backup for the wing. Agreed. Ross says, was watching some Olmo highlights. He definitely can play as a left winger. Was surprised on how good he is as a winger. Come on, Mo, watch some highlights. Just do it. I have seen his highlights. Like I said, I don't think he's a bad player. I just think we spent money on a player that we don't need. But that's all. So the problem is not him. The problem is Barcelona being irresponsible with their money. Superman says, Alex Baez sucks, can't handle high pressure. We saw that against Milan. That doesn't mean he sucks. You're talking about a player who's never played in first division. He just played in second division. And he got matched up against Rafael Leao, one of the greatest wingers right now. What do you think was going to happen? Did you really think Alex Baez was going to be able to stop Rafael Leao? Of course not. It doesn't mean he sucks. It just means he's not there yet. And of course, why would he be there yet? He's never played in first division. So, you know, you have to walk before you run. You cannot just throw a baby on the floor and be like, run. Oh, you didn't run? That means you suck. It doesn't work like that. All right. Wenge says, any impression on Fermin performance recently and what could happen for him this season? Because he's on fire. He definitely deserves playing time, but with the amount of midfielders have it, it's complicated. I agree, especially with bringing Dani Olmo. But if Dani Olmo only plays on the left wing, then maybe he'll have more minutes. But, you know, competition is good. So we'll see what happens. All right. A few more, and then we will end this. But the Angry Sparky says, dude, you need a moderator or two for your lives. Handle all the spam comments in here. I'll happily volunteer my services. I do. I will look into it. You know, moderators cost money, but now maybe that the channel is growing, maybe we will need one. The other day, there was this guy who spammed his comment like 50 times. And I was like, dude, please stop. You know, I don't like blocking people, but if you are going to spam your comment 50 times, then you're leaving me no options. All right. We do have a donation. Anthony Bustamante, thank you, my friend, for your donation. But he says, when you ask for McDonald's, Dani Olmo, and have food at home, Fermin Lopez preferred to eat at home. Hey, my mother, when I was a kid, would have definitely agreed with your advice. You know, I always wanted to eat out, and she'd be like, there's food at home. And I'm like, no, food at home sucks. And now I'm a grown-ass man missing my mom's food and thinking, damn, those were the good days. But that's life. All right, one more, and then we will end this. But Unati says, hey, Mo, what do you think we should sign as our left winger, as we are likely not going to get Nico? Honestly, this late in the market, I wouldn't sign anyone. Unless we can bring Coman on loan, I wouldn't mind, like I said, Coman on loan just so we can allow Dani Rodriguez to grow. And that's it. But I wouldn't sign Coman. Let's be clear. All right, that is all for today. Well, not for today, for the podcast. Remember, we will be uploading another video later today. I can't even speak anymore. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions. Thank you for your generous donations. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, Visca Barça.